And then this ties into another theory, a sub-theory of Ikigai, which is ibasho. And actually, I'd say ibasho is these three levels of Ikigai, especially the
Absolutely.
interpersonal and community. And so if we look at ibasho, the elements of ibasho can be threefold: a comfortable space, reliable social relationships, and a positive belief in the near future. And this made me think, if you do have ADHD, is it hard to find an ibasho?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yes.
I think ibasho is, I think of all the things that I learned with you, and there were a lot. The one that was the most impactful for me was the concept of ibasho, because of all these things that we mentioned before, and because of those three levels of ikigai, or the three spheres of connection, so to speak. Because you have to, for it to be really meaningful, right? For it to be really meaningful, you've got to be really vulnerable. I think you really, for you to, I mean, because that's what ibasho is, isn't it? I mean, it's a place where you can be yourself, but
Yes.
it's your true self. So it really makes, I mean, an essential ingredient is that vulnerability, and that's really scary. That's really scary for anybody, I think. But talking about ADHD, number one, lots of us are misdiagnosed or are undiagnosed. And that makes it really difficult, because I know a lot of the insecurities that I've dealt with in my life have had to do with, oh my God, and you mentioned it in the intro. I talk so much. People think that I had this, people think I only care about myself, or I'm egocentric because I talk all the time. I have a hard time looking people in the eye. That's something I've had to train myself to do. People think I'm not listening, but I am. And because I have really slow working memory, or really poor working memory, I don't remember the last thing that they said, or I don't remember all the details. I really do care. I really do care. And I'm also very intense. It's this intensity where, I just feel things on a very intense level. I'm either really excited or really, it's like there's very little flat affect, right? So all of these things taken out of context, it's easy to imagine that you would be poorly accepted by people, right? Well, I don't want to go. This person, she only talks about herself, or she doesn't listen when I talk to her, or, she's always all over the place. Or so getting the diagnosis, and an accurate diagnosis from a professional, which I am not one to diagnose it, a licensed health professional that, who specializes in ADHD, getting a proper diagnosis is so important, because that's that first step. So that first ibasho, that first community has to be yourself, right? It has to be, okay, this is me, this is who I am, this is why I am, this is how I am. These are the things that impact me negatively about this, and the ones that I want to work on. And these are just part of me. And you know what? This is part of my package, take me or leave me. And the people who choose to take you, then this is my ibasho. And thanks to this process of reconnection with my diagnosis, with the work that I do, with work with you, I have begun to find ibashos and identify ibashos that have really made my life so much richer. And our Ikigai tribe is one of them that I'm so grateful for. I'm so thankful for. And it's funny, I have this small group of interculturalists and inclusion specialists who've also been diagnosed with ADHD, and who are also living in countries other than their own, than their country of origin. So we've got so many things in common that we learn to, we've learned to support one another. So yeah, it's hard. It is hard for anybody. And I think especially if you don't really understand yourself, and if you don't understand what makes you tick, and if you're not willing to be vulnerable with that, then you're not really going to find it. Because how are you going to find who accepts you if you don't really know who you are, and what it is that they need to accept, and that you need to accept, more importantly? So yeah, long answer to a short question, but
No, that's fine. And I was going to say, I'll always take you. You're a dear friend. And I mean, I just have this idea, you're just enthusiastic, and it's great. Every time we have catch-up calls, you are enthusiastic, but I've always noted that you patiently wait. You let other people talk. You never talk over anyone. So I just think you're wonderful.